Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian, and I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Jen, and I love Deck the Hallmark podcast.
And this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Oh, it's Christmas,
yeah.
everyone!
Oh,
It's Christmas!
boy.
Sound the alarm! Jen's here!
That's how you know.
It's a Christmas tradition.
Tradition unlike any other since the first season.
Wow.
Hi, Jen
You
Kirkman.
guys, hi, it's such an honor. And hi, Brian, we talked offline just now for a second, but you fit in so well. And
Thank
this,
you.
I can't believe, you're not allowed to destroy this tradition. So
Thank
I
you.
will,
I wouldn't dare.
yeah, I'll revolt. So, but thank you for letting me continue to be part of it. And I love everyone. And hi, Rig, and hi, Trace, and hi, everybody. And just love it.
Hello there, Jen Kirkman.
Hi.
Big
We're
fan.
looking forward to writing our show together.
Oh, sure.
I'm a big fan of the No Fun podcast with Jen Kirkman. I have a ton of fun listening to the No
Oh,
Fun.
You're
wow.
not supposed to.
Rig.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's good. I line up more with Jen politically than you'd think for a man that wears cargo pants.
I do not believe
Yeah,
that.
I don't believe that.
I do not believe that.
The podcast is satire, correct? It's not real. It's not
That's
real.
right. It's that's right.
Very good.
Everything you hear, think
She's
the opposite.
playing a character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's all going together now. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Any big Thanksgiving plans for you?
Just eating my face off. I'm here in Massachusetts.
Shout
So I'll
out.
be with family. Shout out to Massachusetts. Ooh, ooh. I'll be with family, seeing old friends. You know how it goes. It's what the time of year is for.
What do you like to eat on Thanksgiving?
Well,
What's on your plate?
I've listened to you guys recently in the running for president thing, and you know, my
Not
favorite
a
is
bit.
no,
Not a
I know. Oh, not a bit. My contribution you got. Hopefully,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Super PAC. Yeah.
You know, I've been a vegetarian most of my life, but I truly I used to get made fun of all the time for just eating all the sides. People were like, "You don't have turkey. What do you have?" And now these days I feel like everyone's like, "I don't even like turkey." And so it
Mhm.
was interesting to hear you guys be like, it's not even about the turkey. So for me, it's potatoes and stuffing and cranberry sauce
Mhm.
and all I used to put black olives on my fingers when I was a kid, the cheap ones from the can. And
Yeah, when you were a
Yeah.
kid. Yeah.
yeah, nice.
Last
The
year, yeah.
eggnog, maybe throw a little Bailey's in there in the
Mhm.
morning, the all the desserts. I'm
Now,
a big apple pie with vanilla ice cream, just very simple.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
American. Yeah.
now we are running on the steak at Thanksgiving platform,
And all you can eat.
which does seem problematic for
And you sent
vegetarians.
us a contribution anyway.
Which
so
was
God
very
bless you.
kind, but what how
Yeah.
can we
Yeah.
what are the issues that matter to you when it comes to listen,
Yeah.
we're the steak for Thanksgiving
Yeah.
platform, so we're not going to get overly serious, just be good to people. But
Yeah.
is there anything that we can do to really you're going to go campaign for us?
Well, I mean, I'm going to campaign for you anyway, but what would really set me over the edge into just you got me for life is that, as a vegetarian, I don't care if people eat steak. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't gross me out. So I'd say just ban all annoying jokes about vegetarians when you guys are all eating your steaks. As long as you have enough sides for me, baked potatoes, broccoli, lots of butter, bread. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Brand's
Um,
big on the bread.
I love
You can't
bread.
have
Yeah.
steak without bread.
I
God,
feel like the
freaking love
platform
bread.
should be steak, but a lot of bread for the vegetarians. And I'm sorry, and listen, everyone's going to have issues. You're going to have your gluten freeze and you're this and that. And that's okay. It's, I feel like if you guys are just open to suggestions for more food,
Mm.
then
Yeah.
I think you got a winning platform. And I also think that we should, if you have time, add to the campaign that Christmas officially begins on midnight on October 31st.
Let's not.
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
not.
I
We do
think
need to
that's
expand the
a
base.
given.
Jen's right about expanding the
But
base.
I
That's
think it
important.
is important because while we are the steak for Thanksgiving platform, there is room at our table for everybody, and I
That
think
is
that that's
beautiful.
important.
That was
Yeah,
beautiful.
of course.
Brand.
So
Yeah.
bring your bread, whatever bread works for you.
Oh, I have to bring
Um,
my own.
Well,
She's out. She's out.
Slowly backing away. From
I thought the
microphone.
government
No, no.
provided me free bread for life.
Ooh, we misspoke.
Mm.
you get bread.
Yeah.
We have bread for
But
you.
if you want any of like that Ezekiel gluten-free bread,
Yeah,
I don't
BYOB.
even know. I can't even touch it. My hands will burn.
Yeah.
I,
I
can't do
want
it.
bread that just bloats me like Santa Claus immediately. I want like white bread,
You'll
mushy.
fit right in at our table.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there
yeah,
anything better than going to a nice restaurant and you order a steak, but you've eaten too much bread before the steak gets there, and then you're like, "Uh-oh,
I mean, if they bring the
dilemma."
oil with the pepper and
Oh
the
my
parm in there,
God.
what am I supposed to do? Not eat a whole loaf of bread?
You're only human. And by the way, that's what I'm saying with my friends that love steak so much. I've been to steakhouses with them. They never finish the whole thing because, again, they've eaten the bread and all the oil. And we need to make a restaurant. How about this? You guys refund me my super PAC donation so I can start a restaurant called Wine and Bread Only.
Ooh.
I think we could work on the name,
How
but I
about
do
we
like
keep-
the premise.
How about we keep the money? You still work on the restaurant concept, and we'll go from there.
No, we'll give you half the
I'll think
the
about
money
that.
back. Half
Yeah.
the money back.
Yeah.
Half
Wow,
the
she
money.
must have given a ginormous donation.
It has
I had
been.
no idea.
Well, we already bonused it out.
Oh wow. Okay.
What? No.
That's not allowed.
That's
No
not
one in
how
my
it works?
family is getting gifts this year because of my donation
Yeah.
to you guys was pretty sizable.
You'll
Like-
probably get a card though from the campaign that you could
Yeah.
Something.
write their names on.
Something. For
That's
sure.
even. That's equal.
Your presence is everyone's present.
Mm.
I like to think.
Let's talk about princes and inventing them at Christmas time. It's time to talk about inventing the Christmas Prince. It originally aired on November 18th, 2022. And it went a little something like this. A narrator explains that there's a Christmas prince that rules over the North Pole. Dan, shut up. I don't
even say anything.
Hard
I don't-
S's.
I'm
hard
sorry.
S's.
Silly down.
shush down.
Simmer down now.
Simma.
Cut to Shelby, who is telling this story to a group of kids. Apparently, the Christmas Prince picks one boy to be the king and one girl to be the queen. This is a story that she made up and is telling it to her daughter's class in between her break as a rocket engineer. She gets back to the office just in time to shoot off a rocket.
Just made it.
Just in time. And the whole group cheers. We meet her boss, Evan, who apparently everyone in the office hates so much, he is at risk of being fired. He is, which is, if that's how we were handling things, Dan would have been fired a long time ago. He is told that if one more employee quits, he's fired. And this is a live look at Twitter right now. Shelby's daughter really misses her dad, and she makes a wish upon a star that she'll be the Christmas queen this year. The next day, Evan asks all of his employees to work on Christmas Day, and Shelby isn't having it, and she quits. But before she can leave, Grace, the daughter, comes into the office, sees a mark on his hand. And you know what that means? He should get it checked out, and he's the Christmas Prince. So she freaks out and gives him a big hug. So now Shelby's faced with a dilemma. She has to tell Grace that the prince isn't real, except she doesn't. She goes into Evan's office and is like, hey, if you don't play along with this Christmas Prince bit, I quit for real, which means you lose your job. Classic Christmas blackmail. If that's not jolly, I don't know what is. So he agrees, and then we see a list of stuff that he has to do, and it's a lot. It starts with a Christmas sleepover. He's not going to sleep over. He's just stopping by, everyone. The girls ask him questions like, why don't you have a princess? They ask him for a story, and he tells the worst story of all time, reindeer plague and all. But Grace freaking loves it. She's like, let's kill more reindeer. Draws him a picture and convinces Shelby that the prince, Shelby and the prince, to go out on a date. And the date is an absolute disaster. The next wish is Grace wants Christmas tea with the prince, which ends up actually going really great. Shelby is like, oh man, Grace is growing attached to this guy. Evan starts trying a little bit at work to be like caring of his employees and learn their names and whatnot. And Shelby and Evan go to the roof and look up at the stars and talk. Then the next day, he throws a surprise Christmas party. What a guy. He gives everybody Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off. Yay!
Hey.
What a man. But then he gets a call from his boss saying that he's under review. So you got to keep stepping it up, boy. He keeps doing all the Christmas Prince stuff. He's crushing that. Shelby gets a call from her dream company that she's basically has the job, but she has to move by the end of the year. She decides to turn down the job after another amazing night with Evan under the stars. Evan finds out that the board wants to meet with him at the same time as the Christmas dance was the last thing on the list of the Christmas Prince stuff. So he goes to tell Shelby that he can't make the dance. She's upset with him, the situation, but ultimately she's upset with herself for lying to her daughter for years. Grace is like, nah, Mom, you're wrong about this. He's going to be at the dance. And I got to be honest, I'm actually with Grace on this one. I do think he will be at the dance. Evan ends up getting a promotion and thanks them by running out of the meeting. Says, thank you for the promotion. I will be leaving now to make it to the dance. Before he can get there, he gets a call from Shelby, and Shelby is like, I need you to know it's not just Grace that loves you. I think that I do too. And he's like, then turn around, girl. And he's like in Prince garb, and he has a horse and a carriage, and he gives Grace a crown, and they go for a ride. And then he gives Shelby a tiara. And Grace asks if that makes her a princess. She says one step at a time. They kiss, and that, my friends, was Inventing the Christmas Prince.
We did it.
Exactly right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down with 4 segments here on Deck the Hallmark. Really good.
Close.
Really
Close.
good.
Yeah.
We're back. Hello, everybody. We're breaking down Inventing the Christmas Prince with our friend Jen Kirkman.
Mhm.
And we're going to start with the hot take, and I will start with you, Brian.
Yep.
Brian,
Mhm.
what'd you think of Inventing the Christmas Prince?
Okay. So this movie had quite possibly the most delicious looking hot chocolate I've seen in a movie
Okay.
or in real life during that dance. Delicious. Hot chocolate aside.
Okay.
It just looked really
Great.
good.
I'm glad to
Really
hear it,
good.
buddy.
But the lie went on too long for me. The lie was never ending. And it just was, I did not like that. I don't like the lies in the movies. And this was just going on and on. And it's tough because she's a single mom and she wants to give her kid the best Christmas ever. She has a lot on her plate. She wanted to do the best that she could for a girl. It's very admirable. She's a pro. The 2 leads, Ronnie Rowe Jr., like, it's hard to make someone so smooth seem like such a nerd and uptight. Like, he did a great job in that role. Samara, I believe
It's not Samara.
Samara, she a pro. So the 2 leads are pros. It's just, I had a realization while I was watching this movie that kind of depressed me, kind of like upset me a little bit, but I kind of got back on board. But it was that she was there. She can't leave. Like, a single mother, a single parent can't leave. And the whole time, after she blackmailed him, yes, a little blackmail, whatever, he was doing everything he could to get out of the situation. And he could leave. He could leave at any time. And she just is constantly trying to get him to stay and fulfill this, like, one magical Christmas she wants to have for her daughter. And so it just made me think, like, to feel like really hard for single parents at this time. Like, you're doing everything. The lie is ridiculous. It's crazy. You shouldn't do that. It went too far, but you want your kid to have a magical Christmas. And I can't blame her for doing that. And so it just made me think, like, the single parents, man, what a hard time when you're trying to do all these things. And so it kind of, like, it was sort of a feels, but sort of like a,
Brian really bringing down the room.
you know,
over
Yeah.
I
here.
know.
His
So
Christmas
overall-
cards to all of his single mom friends just say, you can't ever leave. Merry
You
Christmas.
can't ever
Oh,
leave in
so-
all caps.
Yeah,
That's
you
all it
can't-
says.
It was just a realization, it's just like, wow, it's a lot. So overall, like, that aside, I had like not so positive feelings of the movie. And then Evan said, turn around. And it
Turn
changed
around.
everything. Talk about nailing an ending of a movie. It made it my favorite ending this season of a movie. That little girl.
What?
Yeah. They're lying to her. It's wrong. They shouldn't do it, but they made all of her dreams come true. He showed up as a prince in her world. He's a prince. There's a carriage. Snowball, the horse is there.
Shout out.
Shout out to Snowball. It all came true for this little girl. And she had the most like precious, magical Christmas that she could possibly have. So now they have to untangle the lie. They got to deal with that nonsense. But that ending, in the song, boy, that song at the end, man, what a difference the right music can make. But that ending turned it around for me. I don't.
You're embarrassing.
I don't want to watch it again. I won't recommend it. Those 2 R's on my system. Not getting points for those 2 R's. I'm not recommending. I'm not rewatching. But that ending was impressive. Very nice.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
Jen Kirkman.
Okay. I'll spare y'all my hot feminist take about the princess culture and the prince stuff that I just didn't have as a child of the 70s. This was pre-princess culture. So like I didn't get raised with all this prince stuff. I feel like it's kind of newer. It's something my niece is contending with raising her kids. But I'll skip all that. But I feel like the same way as Brian does. Not that single parents can't ever leave.
Can't leave.
I felt
Don't
like,
you do it?
Well, first of all, the reason I offered to watch this show was this movie and asked Brian specifically if I could is I was intrigued by rocket scientists. This is a new job for Hallmark movies. And I was impressed that she didn't also have to plan a party and be a rocket scientist and go Christmas shopping for the boss and be a rocket scientist. So it was fun and kudos for a new type of job. So I will spare you my rant about princes and princesses and raising daughters that way. But I will say the real missed opportunity to not have them have Santa Claus somehow be something that interferes with whatever they're tracking. Like, oh my God, we don't know why, but this thing went off course. Or maybe she invents a Santa tracker app or something like that. But I just felt like there was a missed opportunity there. At one point, I wasn't sure if they were confusing astronomy and rocket science. Like there's that.
They most definitely were.
Yeah, because they mentioned the stars a lot, and I was like, I don't know if that's what Mars, planets, stars. Okay,
No.
Technically, some planets are stars, but I don't think that's what they meant. But I will say this: so the single mom kind of thing. What really bothers me is I'm getting a little tired of these movies that make me sad, where it's like, oh, a single mom, and the daughter just really misses the dad. Like the mom had her village that it took to help her with her grief, and the daughter didn't. Like set something up for the kid and like grief counseling, something. But this whole Prince story, it's like, why are you? It's like, oh yeah, we could do things, that don't indulge a child's fantasy. That if it doesn't come true, she'll be so disappointed, which is compounding the grief from her dad. Like, I can't even, guys, I can't even speak because I'm just a straw has broken my proverbial camelback. Like I can't do dead dad kid is sad anymore. Can't do it. This is my one life to live. This is my favorite season. So I have a pitch because as you know, I wrote 'Tis the Season to Be Merry, co-wrote it. I think the movie should be Tamara was an aunt who's single. And one night she babysat her sister's kid because the sister and husband went to a work function. And as the aunt, sorry guys, aunt, Brian knows what I mean when I say aunt.
Aunt, yeah, it's aunt.
And you say it wrong. Yeah.
As the aunt, she tells her niece the Christmas Prince story, not thinking the kid would take it so seriously. So the kid has parents and all this. And now the kid is like going back to the parents, like, what about the Christmas Prince? And they get mad at Tamara, the aunt. And they're like, you don't have kids. You don't get it. You can't just like keep telling them all these lies. And now we have to keep up with it. And she ends up hiring a Christmas Prince and she falls in love. And the niece finds out that there's no such thing, but she's just so happy her aunt fell in love. Like you get everything the same in the movie, everything.
What you described as a better movie, Jen.
Yeah,
hands down.
You know why? Because we're not sad about a child whose dad died and she gets emotionally attached to a stranger in 10 minutes.
Bingo.
Right.
Bingo.
Okay, so one thing they lost here is Tamara's funny. She's and they didn't use her comedic skills. Give her a movie where she has to have more of a caper. So all in all, for me, I won't rewatch, I won't rewind, and I won't rejoice because I'm angry. Like I'm actually angry, and I didn't come here to be angry.
I love it.
So no for me, dog.
What everyone has said so far, I can see.
Oh no.
Oh God.
No.
Oh no.
Well,
Bran,
well,
there comes a time.
I was reminded by something that Jesus did.
Oh, good gosh.
which is he wept. He wept.
When he saw this movie.
When he saw the movie.
No.
Yeah.
When I want to paint
Let's
a
paint.
picture.
You're an artist.
Turn around, and I'm just like,
when that yeah.
I just lose it.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
Guys, I love this movie. Everything that everybody is saying, I can see it.
Sure.
I understand what you're saying. It's fine. But you know what? Lie to your kids. I don't care. It gave me this movie and it was awesome. I loved it. I loved everything about this movie. Double down on the lie. Triple down on the lie. I don't care, because what it gave me was turn around, and it made everything worth it. It was awesome. I loved it. I'm just over there just like this. My kids are like running around me. I'm just like, shut up for a minute. I got to watch this movie. And I'm just bawling. They're like, Dad, are you okay? And I'm like, pipe down. Inventing a Christmas Prince. It was a religious experience for me. I absolutely adored this movie. It almost broke my top 3, but it did break my top 5. Every second of it.
Finally, we can stop talking about my top 3.
Dan?
Wow.
Oh my
This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the two of you. I'm putting you in there too.
That's fine.
This is a movie of the snowball effect of systematically lying to your child for a current feeling of okay and years of trauma later. Like, we'll skip straight to what the Hallmark. I want to know the therapy bills. I just want to know them right now. When this girl is 25 years old and she's thinking through the sheer number and size and scope of the lies her mom told her just to make her feel okay.
Or she thinks about how sweet it was that her mom wanted to bring her some joy at Christmas time.
No, she's going to be like, is my dad even really dead? My mom's a pathological liar.
She's such a liar.
It just depends, Dan. If the girl's like you, she's going to be a freaking monster. But if she's full of whimsy and fun like me, she's going to be like, man, that was dope what my mom did.
It was not.
That was dope.
In no world is this dope what the mom did. In no world.
9 times out of 10, it's not dope. This is the one.
What is she supposed to do? Not try?
No, she's supposed to love her kid through the grief and process it, like she says, one thing at a time, all movie long.
We all process things differently. Some of us
lie about it our whole life.
I'm kind of with Bran on this in the sense that, like, well,
right.
everyone experiences things like being lied to differently. Like, some people would be like, that was awesome, and you just never know. But I say don't take the chance in the first place.
Yeah, don't lie to your kids is the message here. I will also say this. Ronnie Rowe, who's been on the show before, is a super dynamic, smooth as can be.
Has Ronnie Rowe been on the show before?
If not, we've talked to him a bunch. I think we talked to him a lot about being on the show, if he's not been on the show.
He has been on the show.
Okay, because we talked to him a lot.
We have talked to Ronnie Rowe.
Okay. His
He's
voice, it's your boy
Your boy
Ronnie Rowe.
Ronnie
His voice is smooth as silk. He's got all the confidence in the world. And so it's also weird him trying to play off type, which was wild. And then lastly, like, if the rest of this should just kick it right up the road, can I introduce you to what I believe is called, I want to make sure I get this right, Satellite Boost Lab. The place where the scientists go to launch the rocket is a 5-cubicle floor in an industrial complex called Satellite Boost Lab.
Beautiful valley.
They could not have treated the industry of rocket science with any less respect than what they did. They don't even know what it is. They're lying to themselves that they're rocket scientists. They're lying to their children about this Christmas Prince, and they're literally going out of their way to lie more for no other reason than it makes them feel better about their lives. This movie is actively bad on a number of levels, and I hated every fiber of it. The only reason it's not down there with the Troop movies is because there's some legit laughers in this. I may have laughed as much in this as I did in Three Wise Men and a Baby for entirely different reasons, but I did laugh a lot in this movie, especially at all the rocket science stuff, which we'll get to later. This is a disaster. It's one you cannot look away from, but make no mistake, it is a disaster. All the way down to that end that Bran is crying over. It's a disaster.
I love the way you lie.
Guarantee it.
That's exactly
It's
right.
a Christmas Prince.
Let's do feels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
The Christmas Prince scene at the end took my breath away. It was my favorite. Like I said, it's my favorite scene this season.
You guys
They
have
did
a
that.
problem.
So I did not see it coming.
The problem is Christmas joy.
Yeah,
Something
over
you
on
know
this
nothing
side.
about.
Can feel it. It's like freezing cold right here, but just beautiful and glowing over here. I didn't see it coming. They did it so well. The music, everything about it was my favorite scene of the season.
Jen?
Okay. This is unorthodox, I realize, but I got punch a Nazi feels. Um,
That's it. You
That-
need to explain that at all.
Okay.
That's all
I
got.
think
I'm
we all
kidding. Go ahead.
understand.
that Sherman, that little Hitler youth,
Ugh.
Yep.
that little blonde boy who's like, you don't have a family, you don't have a dad. He is actively evil.
That's right.
It is
Yeah.
not a phase. You cannot rehabilitate him. He must be destroyed.
Yes. Yes.
I know it's a child. I love kids, but this is not a child.
Right.
No.
This is either a demon or a Hitler youth that was frozen in time and came back. He is horrible. And I had feels of just anger that he would talk to anyone that way. And then it made me angry at the movie again that, the message of some families only have two people. I guess that's only okay once you know you're going to eventually be saved by, a prince. So I just started with a punch a Nazi feel, then went back to the anger.
So when
No, that's not. Listen, I'm going to skip you real quick.
Bran just muted my mic. I'm
That
safe.
they were that was my feels too. I did not write down punch a Nazi feels, but this kid was just a spawn of Satan.
he's a real Brandon
Like
Kaiser.
he's a real Brandon Kaiser. He's just like
Yeah.
there's not like I would pray that there's not a child alive this mean.
Yeah.
Because that I just can't imagine
Oh,
that
boy.
world. And then for them to let him say, I was kidding all along at the end of the movie. I mean, come on, people. I
Learn to
couldn't
joke,
handle it.
buddy. That's
That's right.
not funny. That's me.
When obviously the end of this movie, the best ending of a movie, I think this side of anything, maybe like The
Saturn?
Sixth Sense, like from a like wow, stick with me. But when he showed up with the keyboard because she wanted a grand piano, brings it in, she hits a few notes. Boy, loved it.
One, huh?
I loved it. And I don't want to talk about it too much because I'll start crying again.
I
Let's take a quick
Aw.
break. We'll come right back and we'll do the Wait What's here on Deck the Hallmark on WTOO. Timmy's
Timber.
time. Welcome back,
There's a
everybody.
pause in between Timmy's time.
It's Timmy's time.
But you said Timmy's.
I had my papers.
Time.
I had my papers all.
Okay, all mixed up.
We're back with Jen Kirkman. Jen, hope you had a good break there. That was a lot of fun for us. Hopefully,
I got a lot done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It looks a lot cleaner back there. Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I went in
Amazing.
and got the baseboards. I got the ceiling.
Just
I mean,
phenomenal.
Deep clean.
yeah.
Can I
thank
say
you.
how much I love the beams? I love
Yeah,
beams.
those look good.
Thank you. Yeah, they're my sister's beams. I can't take any credit for them, but we're beaming it up here. We got
I saw my sister's beams live.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
a very good group.
Very good
Um,
group.
There's a horse barn out back. I mean, it's real festive and farmy here. It's really cute.
Mm.
Yeah.
My sister's laughing in the background. She's very mad that I didn't pick to do the Three Wise Men movie.
Oh yeah.
She's watched
Well,
it twice.
Just give your hot take real quick.
What'd you
It
think?
was amazing. I watched it with my two sisters. So it was like three sisters watching the three
That's
brothers.
cool.
That's
cool.
And we want to learn the dance. So I do. It was really good. I was jealous. I didn't have anything to do with it. It's one of those things you're like, I wish I wrote that, or I wish I could
Yeah.
be part of that.
It
I
was
love
very
them.
funny.
Yeah,
was
clever,
very fun.
quirky movie.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
Amazing.
Let's get back to a better movie though. I can't. That was
But I
movie,
just
it's
want to
better.
tell everyone in the live chat, I'm not really upset. I'm just being like silly. Like someone was like, calm down, just a movie. But listen,
That was
I can't
probably
calm
for
down.
me. That was probably
Yeah.
for me.
I'm
Jen.
sure it was for me because I'm screaming about Nazis. Go on.
Let's get to the Wait What's if we can find any in this masterpiece. Brian?
Yep, I got a few here. So at one point, Ronnie's boss told him that if they missed the window for the solar array, it was going to cost the company millions.
No.
And then in the same breath almost said, but don't push the employees too hard.
That's right.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
If-
Okay.
If you have a timeline for a rocket launch, billions are at play.
just that guy, Ronnie's boss is just a huge wait what anyway. The way he just lies to him on the phone
Yeah.
about everything. And why was she helping out the prince so much with the list? Like, she's blackmailing him. Just give him the list, say this is your responsibility, or I quit. Stop doing everything for him. She just
Done
kept
and
doing
done.
everything. And when the satellite moved, and this should have been a feels, I think. They needed to stay late to adjust the coordinates. And it was good that the single boss and the young kid with midnight movie tickets let the single mother go home.
That's right.
While they stayed late to deal with the coordinates situation.
Right.
That was so
I mean, I
thoughtful.
can't ever watch It's a Wonderful Life if I don't watch it at midnight in a movie
Midnight.
theater. It's the only place you can find that movie.
And then the last one, I'll stop here, is just the board of directors flying in for a meeting. Like, this is not a thing. Nobody
2022.
flies in for meetings anymore. It's been years. Nobody does this. We just can't keep doing this in movies.
Yeah, that is absolutely uncalled for.
Yeah.
The non-Zoom fly-in before Christmas meeting. What is it, 2015? No.
Jen?
Well, Brian, it's funny that you mentioned the guy with the tickets to It's a Wonderful Life. I didn't even think of the angle that he's leaving and the single mom has to stay. And
Yeah.
it just proves your point. You can't leave. You can't leave work.
You
never
can
leave.
never leave.
And
That's
can't leave
true.
anywhere.
That's right.
But yeah, so for me, this company needs an HR department. Like, I don't know what's going on with you're working late on Christmas. And then, yeah, this go-between guy that's like, the board might review you. You've had 3 complaints. There should have been a review then. But she mentions that she did have a bereavement leave. So I'm like, well, that's pretty good. Not a lot of companies have that. So you had HR at one point, but I guess they dropped the ball on like your boss being toxic and being like, if you don't like it, tough, So that's more of less a wait what, more just like I'd like to see a policy put in place. But
Fair.
But I also think like, okay, so why is she in a public school telling a Christmas story? I mean, I haven't been in school in 40 years. Like, I don't know what goes on, but I thought it was kind of like, what about the other kids that maybe are from different religions? Or it just seemed like everybody celebrated Christmas. But I felt like it would be something that maybe another parent would get mad about. Like, forget the religious part, this weird Christmas Prince, which adds another stress to people's lives because we've got Elf on the Shelf and
That's right.
Santa Claus. So you would think one parent would complain and be like, I don't want this rogue rocket scientist mom coming in and just telling another thing that I have to fulfill. I thought it's just weird to me that they allowed such things. And
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I simultaneously agree with you and also think that at least down south, all the elementary schools are like, Christmas is fair game.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like all the rest of the holidays, no. But when it comes to Christmas, they just let you do it, even though there are plenty of parents that are probably not celebrating Christmas out there. They just don't care. Because my kids come up and talk about Christmas and the Christmas thing they did every day. And that probably isn't great.
It's probably become like an American holiday in a way. It
Yeah.
just means like winter time,
That's right. Yeah.
My sister has yelled to me from the other room that they make a Snoop Dogg Elf on the Shelf now, if anyone needed that information.
wow.
Yeah.
Man,
Thank you.
good to know.
Here to help.
Wait, what are the ramifications here? What is Snoop Dogg not going to come to our house? Is Snoop Dogg?
I think
So just
Snoop
an
tells
elf.
Santa not to
Snoop-
come.
That's right.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
got
Wow,
got him on the line.
Snoop has Santa a direct line. Okay, great.
That's right.
I
love
would,
that.
I buy that. Like, I don't believe in Santa, but then if you're like, well, yeah, but Snoop is friends with them, I'd be like, oh, that kind of makes me like, it actually
wanna-
makes me believe.
I'm not so sure about Santa, but I also don't want to make Snoop mad, and
That's
so
the thing.
I'm
That's the
really
thing.
You
conflicted. here.
can't lie about the Christmas Prince, but Snoop Dogg on the shelf is just above board.
board.
So that's what we need to establish right now.
I kind of want one. All right. So my last wait, what? I mean, I have another one, but I'll let it go. I'm sure you guys are. My favorite part. Well, first of all, I think we kind of said this, that we're going to take one thing at a time after she's already ingratiated this man into her daughter's life. But okay.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But he goes, she's talking about, he spent some time with her kid. And he goes, I understand now why she's so important to you. What? You didn't understand why a child was important to the mother
Now I get it.
until you had tea with her. And you're like, oh, she's a cool kid. Before I didn't get it.
Yeah. Before I was like, why do you keep this little vagrant around? But now, man, it makes all the sense in the world. Yeah.
I have a few guys.
You guys have taken some of mine, and I've still got a dozen. I'm trying to delete them.
She starts off this movie, this story. This kid, the Nazi, says, "Why have I never heard about this Christmas Prince?" And she says, "Not everybody knows about the Christmas Prince, just my family." So nobody knows about the
Not
Christmas.
everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just that everybody doesn't know; it's that nobody knows.
Right.
Yep.
It's literally just my family knows about the Christmas Prince. He tells a story. He tells a bad one, and she's like, Godzilla visiting the North Pole, and he says it was the only thing I could remember. So this is a true story. This is
you remember the one time Godzilla went to the
Yeah.
North Pole?
I also wrote down is correcting a drifting satellite really the best time to start being a good boss? I would say no. You make the guy work. You gotta stay here and correct the drifting satellite. And I also got a kick out of them coming over to watch a black and white Christmas Carol with a child.
Yeah.
She chose it.
Yeah, she chose it.
Yeah,
that was her pick.
Yeah, she got to pick any movie to watch for the Christmas Prince, and she chose the original
And
Christmas
it just
Carol.
so happened to be, in public domain,
That's right.
which is great.
It's worked out for everybody.
The little girl watches exclusively public domain films, and I think we're all better for that.
I'm still I'm in my 40s and I'm afraid of that original black and white
Yeah.
Christmas Carol. It is so scary.
So scary.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you just show a movie that isn't a real movie instead of that?
Yes.
Like, that's a real, she gets it. She's
You
7
could
8 years
watch.
old.
You
She
could watch
gets it.
Elf. You could watch, the Sweet Noel movie on Disney Plus. No.
No. I
No,
want
We
the
should have done
original.
another Hallmark movie and just
Yeah,
and
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Easy.
Better than that. Dan.
A lot of people think the moon landing was fake, and I don't believe that. However,
Me either.
if you wanted to fake launch a rocket into space, may I recommend Satellite Boost Lab? I feel as though no one there is actually launching anything. I don't know how else to describe this. They are always on a time crunch, yet the office is decorated like Brandon Gray is the CEO of Satellite Boost Labs. And then Ronnie Rowe and Tamara go up to the roof, and it is like Christmas threw up out there.
Mm.
Are we doing anything for the rockets? You guys are rocket scientists.
When you're up in space, you want to look down and see a few Christmas trees to remind you what's down there.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that they were trying to pass this space off as a space where people do serious rocket things. I just couldn't make heads or tails of that at all. So at one point in the movie, Grace is the kid's name. They say she's 7 in the movie. And then later in the movie, they say she's 8 in the movie.
She had a birthday.
They literally, no, they literally don't get the daughter's age right in this movie, which is very, very impressive. The whole problem with Tamara and the Christmas Prince is she doesn't have any time on her hands.
Mhm.
That is the crux of this is I don't have time. The only way this would work is if I bribe my boss. So where did all this time come from? Where they walk around all day and just find gifts and do all of this stuff? I also have an issue, as we do from time to time, whenever someone is like, it's like my mom always says, or it's like my group always says, you did not corner the phrase focus on one thing at a time. I am sorry. Like, that is just a thing. Like, that is like, it's like I always say, stop when the light is red. No, everyone.
You do always say that.
It's like
I always say, Merry
you know,
Christmas.
That's right. It's like I always say, waffles are better than pancakes. That is me. Just me. No one else has that
I'm
take.
not that.
Like, and she can. Oh, okay.
I'm a pancake over waffle
Pancake
guy.
over waffle. God,
Yeah.
all the ridges. The
Oh,
syrup
You
collects.
can put,
I mean,
you
come
put
on.
the syrup in the.
Yeah, I understand.
It just is really, it's really hard. Like, make it something specific. Don't be like, well, you know what the family's always said. The thing that literally everyone says all the time. That thing. Yeah, awesome, great, glad to hear it. They go from, and I want to be very clear, we're just now exploring Mars as a country. Like, and Mars, and I did a little bit of Brian Harold research here because I couldn't get over this.
Yeah.
Mars is 52 million miles from Earth. And they just casually throw out in their like Dollar General dumpster fire rocket science building, they casually throw out that this guy who was about to be fired has now taken the lead on finding a way to live on Saturn.
Saturn's
And-
moon.
Why did you hear that? Wait, what?
And,
Stop.
and they
stop.
say,
Yeah.
I'm
She
serious.
didn't catch.
They actually want him to explore
Yep.
the habitability of Saturn's moons.
That's right.
Now, I already
Isn't
told
it
you
like 900,000
Yes.
degrees? Okay.
Mars is 52 million miles away. We just got there in like the year of our Lord 2018 or something. Saturn is 925 million miles from Earth. Basically a billion. A billion miles. They have this little,
To be clear, though,
backwoods office space that's like the paper company from The Office and Rocket Science is now planning a trip to a billion miles from
Can I
here.
blow your mind real quick?
Please do.
Enceladus, which is Saturn's 6th largest moon,
Yeah.
is thought to be inhabitable.
Oh, thank
Oh.
goodness.
So
yeah, well, thank you for
that's
that.
recently discovered.
And I just do
too.
want to say this in defense of this film: they're not
Go ahead.
they're not doing it. He's just exploring.
Exploring the idea.
Exploring the
Absolutely.
idea. That's his new job.
They
is
don't do
to
it because it's easy.
explore the idea.
Somehow Satellite Boost Lab got the inside track on
Nope.
that bid.
They're just
Well, Dan, because they're
exploring.
willing to work on Christmas. That's what gets
That's
you.
That's
what it is.
why.
It's above and beyond. And then lastly,
Saturn doesn't care about Christmas.
that's right.
I don't
Saturn
need to-
doesn't care.
had to
It's
put it-
literally
Not yet.
like it's a time travel away. You guys love the moment where he says turn around.
Yeah.
Could we not find the guy a matching jacket and pants? He literally has a bright white jacket that looks like
Brent.
Sgt. Pepper's Christmas album. And then his pants are cream colored pleated khakis. And if I'm noticing it, it's a problem.
Brent, we had the same feeling at that scene, and watching that with Dan today was
He watched it with
insufferable.
me.
Like
It was
I was
miserable.
getting chills, and he's over there talking about pressing the pleats on the front of his pants tighter, and I'm just like, you don't get.
I didn't say that.
I wish I
It's just a
saw
good thing I wasn't here. Or I would have punched a Nazi. I'll say that much.
Yeah, this movie's a mess, everyone. Just a mess.
Well,
That's all I got.
number 4 for Brian. Let's talk about any questions we have. The what the Hallmark, where we wonder what could have been. Maybe have to give some clarity to the questions that we still have. Right?
Sure. So I didn't have a clear one. The only thing that I kind of was questioning was I thought it was admirable that they did put her in a engineering job like this. What, like Jen, you mentioned that she wasn't planning a party, she wasn't doing anything else, she was just working really hard, and she seemed to be really good at her job. But the company is just a big question. Like, it's hard to imagine that. What is it?
Satellite Boost Labs? How
Boost
dare
Labs
you forget that name?
from soup to nuts is building and launching.
Where are they launching a rocket in that space?
building
From that, and you saw that roof.
No,
launch
I
anything.
will. I will say this could be though, like Houston. They put shuttles go up from Cape Canaveral, but they're
Right.
talking to Houston.
Sure, different
ground
satellite
control.
offices.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
NASA
So
in
maybe
Houston, though. You
Sat-
could launch. Can you
But-
not launch a shuttle from Houston?
I think you can, but they don't usually. I'm just saying, what the communication from Cape
Mhm.
Canaveral is with Houston,
Mhm.
which could be any. It could be a building.
Could
It
be
could be
anywhere.
any building.
It could be any office depot in any valley.
That's
next
exactly
to Any
right.
mountain range.
Just 6 cubicles in a dream.
So
It's just hard to believe since they can't even Zoom a meeting. Like
That's
that
right.
They would be
No, everybody's
communicating
got
with-
to come in
Great
fresh for
point.
that
That's
meeting.
a great point, Jen.
Jen, what are you still wondering about?
Well, I thought her dorky coworker was somehow going to be a bigger part of the movie. So I'm just wondering what his deal is. He seems so just kind of like happy-go-lucky. And I don't know why this struck me, but towards the end of the movie, there was just a shot of his hand and he was wearing a wedding ring. And I was like, who's that guy's wife? Like, I just thought maybe he'd have some relationship advice for her. But no matter what she said, he's like, I don't know. And I just thought he was like, maybe like some stoner that just, sat there. And then I'm like, well, this guy has a life. Like, I want to know about how he met his wife. Is she a rocket scientist? How did he propose? What's their Christmas? It seems like they've got a lot of Christmas hobbies, like going to the It's a Wonderful Life. Like, I'd like to follow that guy around for a day. He seems just kind of chill and just kind of, doesn't have a lot to say.
Well,
and there was something intriguing.
He knows how to drive a horse and carriage.
Yep, that's all you need to know, really.
He knows how to
That's
drive
man.
one. He is fully equipped to be in charge of the horse and carriage without
See,
any
I think
training.
something's going on with him. Like, you know how a lot of these movies, it's like, oh, I'm actually Santa Claus. Like, there's something. He may have
Yeah.
grown up as an elf or something.
Exactly.
Did you say that he's going to a midnight showing of It's a Wonderful
Yes.
Life?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
He had
Why?
tickets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
have a hard I don't go to midnight showings anymore.
Yeah.
I've been to a few in my life. It's not an enjoyable
I
experience.
think you age out. I
Yeah,
aged out of midnight.
But to
showings.
go to a midnight showing of a movie that's been out for 50 years is
Yeah.
is a choice.
That's not short either.
It's not short. It's long. It's also like the first half is a real bummer, getting smacked over the ear and stuff. So it's like, that'd be a tough midnight showing. But I also do listen. I don't have a problem with lying to kids. I do it all the time. But usually I don't like introduce my child to a lie. So like, how does that, like, at some point she was getting ready to tell her the truth about the Christmas Prince, but now the waters are muddy. I will give them that, because now he's in full garb, well, half garb. Yep. So how does that, eventually you have to be like, he's just Evan. We still love Evan, but he's not the Christmas Prince. So when does that conversation take place? Yeah. And how does it go?
I am legitimately interested in the trauma therapy bills that are coming their way. There's no doubt about that. But I also am interested in this world where Satellite Boost Lab is a real thing that's really launching rockets. And she gets a job from Rocket City or wherever that is called. Skyrocket. How many of these fly-by-night rocket companies are there? Like, is it like car companies
now.
Is it like Ford and
it's
Chevy?
like SpaceX and Jeff Bezos and NASA.
Man, that's a thing.
We got three.
There's now a company that you can like invest in, and like they're doing rockets.
They're doing them.
They're doing rockets.
Start a rocket company?
I bet all of those companies. Yeah, all of those companies have a little bit more to work with than Satellite Boost Lab, though, right?
I had no problems with Satellite Boost Lab.
I can't believe that.
I
can't believe that.
I just assumed that they were the Houston to the.
They're a terrible Houston. They don't even have a Houston setup.
They have terrible management, though. Definitely.
Yes.
Like, terrible management. They don't hire the greatest people.
No.
It also sounds like a cell phone company. Satellite Boost. It sounds like that.
Satellite Boost Lab.
Maybe that's what they're launching into space is satellite communication.
Oh yeah, maybe. Our satellite somewhere up there. How about that? We did, everybody. Jen, tell everybody, you got anything you want to promote or send people somewhere to see things?
Listen to her podcast. It's legit fun.
Even Rig likes.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, you can listen to my podcast called No Fun. I don't know if this makes me any money, but I want everyone to see it. You can buy or rent "'Tis the Season to Be Merry" on Amazon, I think.
Yeah,
I just saw
that's
that.
exciting.
Again,
Nice.
it doesn't get me anything, but or you can just just skip my Twitter. It's just me angry. Go to my Instagram. I post fun pictures of all kinds of holiday things, and so at Jen Kirkman, or just go to my website jenkirkman.com, and all kinds of fun things there.
Jen's so modest. She's a New York Times best-selling author.
Yep.
She's had like 3 Netflix specials.
Yeah, but
like
that's
you
all
can.
old.
Yeah, but I mean,
cares?
come on, Jen.
You should
I'm
put up a picture of your sister's horse on your Instagram
My
for the
sister,
people.
well, horse. She's got multiple, and she's got a pony named Fiona. I'll post pictures.
Love to see
Love
that.
it.
When does the Maisel? When's the Maisel come out?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes. I write on the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and we just finished. Like the whole show is over now. We filmed it, and it comes
Come out
out
the
in
series is the last season.
last season. We filmed. It's all gone now. On our end, at least.
There's no more. This
No
is
more.
it.
That's it.
Wow, that stings. I love that show.
I know it's really like we really landed the plane. So I feel
Great.
like you won't be wanting for more. You won't have any questions that were not answered.
Great.
You might want more, but it would just be too much at that point.
Excessive.
it's
Did
gonna
you
come
say
out
that there was fireworks at the
2023.
wrap party?
Yeah, so we had a our final table read where the actors get together and read the scripts, and then from there we still have to make changes. The final table read, which is normally just an afternoon thing, was at night for the final one, and they shot off fireworks. Again, this is Amazon, so that's where their money goes, I guess. And so anyway, they shot off fireworks. We film in Brooklyn, and we were on this like rooftop in Brooklyn, and they shot them over the East River. And it was so funny because it made the news the next day. New York won, and they're like, we don't know what these mysterious fireworks were. They were like, not even the police knew. And I was like, that
Wow.
doesn't make me feel very good, but it was really beautiful. And normally I'd be like, these corporations have too much money, but when you're part of it, like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
You deserve this.
Super cool.
It was
We were
also
like-
how do we get out of paying taxes? I mean, we could shoot off the
shoot
fireworks
off
at a table
everybody.
read, I guess.
They're for everyone.
Yeah.
Does that
I mean,
work?
and there
That's
was like,
everybody.
we didn't have a lot of time to eat, but there was drinks flowing. So it was just, just drunk and crying and
Yeah.
fireworks. It was really lovely. I will tell everyone, if you watch the show, and I'm not just saying this, like the nicest, most wonderful cast of down to earth people, no attitudes, no ego, this show made a lot of people that are on it famous, and you wouldn't even know them from the average person walking down the street that isn't famous. Like, they're just lovely. So it's sad that it's over, but that's that. So it comes out in like 2023. They've told me nothing. Maybe February, maybe April. Look for fireworks in the sky, and that's how you know.
It's a phenomenal
That's how
show.
you
Can't
know.
wait. Can't
On
wait.
premiere night, there's going to be fireworks in the sky everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
John's committed.
Be on the
Over
lookout.
each individual Amazon subscriber's house, we do fireworks.
That's right.
That's how
So
you know.
get your Prime. The price went up, but now you know why.
That's right.
Fireworks.
Getting individual fireworks shows. We did, everybody. Congratulations, Jen. Thank you so much. And so now officially Christmas. So it makes me so happy to see you, buddy.
Wait, it's officially Christmas because I was on? Is that what you meant?
Yes,
how
that's
it
what I'm
works.
saying.
Oh, I never got. I thought it was because maybe this airs the day after Thanksgiving or something.
No.
Oh, I'm so.
Nope.
Oh, stop,
And if you
I
look
can't
outside,
believe
you'll
it.
see fireworks in 3, 2.
May we be the
Nice,
first to
nice.
wish you a Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a That Sounds Fun podcast. It's produced by Tracy Millis name. It's recorded
Just-
live in that Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on Deck
Gail.
the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com.
Gail, come here. Just come here really quick.
And we weren't muted when I said it.